Rich Eisen goes off on an epic rant about the whole pay Brock Purdy conversation and all the conversations about who Brock is, what he isn't, and everything in between, because he's basically referencing the fact that he spoke to Joe Montana at Radio Row at the Super Bowl, and basically Joe, without hesitation, said, "Pay Brock Purdy." And it's honestly an interesting kind of situation because Joe was kind of outspoken about another 49ers quarterback, and he actually was proved to be right about that. So I don't know. Maybe Rich is on to something here, but take a listen to this epic rant from Rich Eisen and everyone in studio right here.
The San Francisco stuff is nuts. I don't understand the Purdy slander and the Purdy hate. And everybody assumes Purdy is going to hold out for every penny. Everybody assumes that Purdy's going to get that $60 million. I don't know if that's what Purdy and the 49ers are going to work out. If I'm Purdy, I'll take the generationally brilliant price tag of Goff. I'll take the generationally brilliant price tag of what Mahomes is playing for right now.
Kyler Murray.
I would do that and just know that I need to make sure I'm protected up front and I've got the weaponry that's required of me to show that I'm the guy. And in terms of the Purdy hate, I mean, who can be trusted more about knowing quarterbacks and quarterbacking and worthiness of being a quarterback than Joe Montana? Tell me. Oh, Joe's the all-time great. He's a GOAT. He's this, he's that. He's Joe Cool. He knows exactly what to do under pressure. He's neck up, one of the best. Neck down, no, he's not winning any contests. Even Montana said he wasn't winning a lot of numbers contests when he stopped by our show last week at the Super Bowl. But going out the door, I asked Joe Montana, what about Purdy? He's like, they should pay him. He didn't stutter. He didn't go, well, I need to see more out of him. Well, I don't know, guys. Well, no, Joe Montana's like, pay him. He should be the quarterback of the future, says Joe Montana, of the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. And he doesn't know. He doesn't know. Suddenly there are people, I saw responses to the video he posted.
Well,
and
Rich,
suddenly, what does he know about quarterbacks?
Well, Rich, if you listen to these people, he won 4 Super Bowls, but they were like 40 years ago. Yeah. They don't count.
Also,
all that stuff doesn't count because it happened over 10 years ago.
Plus, and it's just like, it's a system. He was a system guy.
Yeah,
product of the Walsh system. He's without Rice, he's nothing.
Yeah,
he's on the Wall Street.
Except, wait a minute, he won one without Rice.
It happened before the iPhone came out, so
by the way,
clearly doesn't matter.
Those games were in black and white too, right?
Standard definition quarterbacks shouldn't be talking about 21st century issues.
Well, he was playing against plumbers. 4x3. He was playing against plumbers.
It was 4x3.
You know what I mean?
No score bug.
There was only 8
not
yards on the field.
Yeah, it's before that.
So Purdy haters who are the ones saying, you know what? The Niners are going to blink and they're going to go, we're not paying Purdy. We'd rather take Aaron Rodgers at age 41. We're going to punt Purdy. So the third best odds of where Aaron Rodgers is showing up is San Francisco.
Yes.
That's nuts.
Some places it's the second best.
They're going to pay Purdy. People will have a problem with paying Purdy. And all I will say to those people is, oh, so Joe Montana doesn't know what he's talking about quarterbacking and quarterbacking for the 49ers. Oh, okay.
Okay, buddy.
I'm just reporting what the sports books are saying. I don't know.
All right.
So you had kind of heard me reference Joe Montana was right about another 49ers quarterback. If you guys don't remember, Joe wasn't very complimentary of Trey Lance. And at the time, I was like, what is Joe talking about? I pushed back on Joe. I was like, this seems like old man yells at cloud energy. But in the end, Joe was right. And his concerns and he wasn't like just 100% bought in to Trey Lance and who he was as a quarterback. It turned out to be right. And so it's very interesting to see that he has, this completely other thought process on Brock Purdy. And honestly, I'm not surprised because they're very similar quarterbacks. Now, they're not identical, and obviously Joe has won 4 Super Bowls, but um, the play style, the archetype, not crazy athletes, just smart and got the ball out quick and use their minds to be able to manipulate the game to their benefit. So I think there's probably a lot of parallels that Joe Montana sees with Brock, whereas like Steve Young, we listen to Steve Young talk about, Brock, and they don't have the same parallels. I would say that Steve would consider Brock more of a Joe Montana archetype, where Steve considers himself a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes archetype. So, and he's spoken about that for years now at this point. But anyways, kind of back to the whole notion. It was funny because me and Rich actually collaborated on that Instagram post that he was talking about. And of course, there's like this segment of 49er fans that have convinced themselves that they cannot win with Brock Purdy. And they've also convinced themselves that somehow the market doesn't relate to Brock. Somehow he has to be a $30 to $35 million quarterback, and that his resume doesn't matter and what he's accomplished doesn't matter. Somehow Brock Purdy doesn't qualify for market value. He somehow qualifies for significantly less than market value. Not just like, oh, you know, let's get you between 45 and 50. No, some fans actually think that when they say Brock should get 30 to 35 million, that they're doing something. Like they're like, oh yeah, this is the smart move. And it's just like I have to like be like, you clearly don't understand how the league works. And the very first video that I made on this topic was basically saying how this is going to work and how they're going to take Brock's resume and they're going to slot it and compare it to the other quarterbacks who have been paid. That's how it works. It has nothing to do with what you or I think he should be paid. Nothing. Because that's not how contract negotiations work. I spoke to Lee Steinberg, Patrick Mahomes' agent, interviewed him about this situation with Brock Purdy, and that's exactly what he said. This how these contracts work. How you take the stats and you compare it to like quarterbacks, and you compare them to against what they paid. So where does Brock fit in? Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff. He slots into those areas. So you can say Brock is only worth 30 to 35 until you're blue in the face, but you're just dead wrong because that's not how it works. It's just not how it works. And you can convince yourself that's how it works, but you'll be wrong every time. So I don't know where people get it in their brain that they think that they're doing something by saying, oh, he's only worth 30 to 35 million. Like all you're doing is you're admitting openly that you don't understand the business of football, and yet you think you do. I've had these conversations countlessly over and over and over again in the comments, and it just boggles my mind how people don't understand this process and how it works because we've gone through it so many times. Just look at BA. BA was once a $26 million wide receiver until the market exploded, and in that same year he jumped up to 30. Over the course of his deal, that is millions and millions of dollars difference just by waiting a couple months because the market dictates the price, not the other way around. So let me know what you guys think about this. I thought it was a great rant. Had a little rant on myself of my own. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm sure people will absolutely be disagreeing with me, but I'm used to it at this point. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.